I'm Sarah.
And I'm Chantele. And we're talking about The Circle US Season 3, Episode 1 and 2.
You guys, it's here. Season 3 snuck up on us. They hit us 2 times in 1 year. What? Didn't see it coming. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Please, helps the channel. And welcome, Chantele,
back for having me.
For another series over here on Nerdtainment. Yes, Circle episodes 1 and 2. Let's dive into it. We've got new people, new cast. We're going to meet them. We get 4 at first, and they meet each other a little bit. Then we add in 2. They talk a little. Then we add in 2 more. Let's go through who they are. Calvin, Michelle, Kay. Matthew is playing as Ashley. Those are our first 4. Then we have Roxana and Daniel come in. Then we have Nick. And then we have Ava, who's going to come in with her sister, Chanel. First impressions.
Well, okay, when we first started, I was just kind of like, because you start liking the past season by the end. Like, you just love everybody on there so much. And so I was just like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to like these people as much. It's just kind of like, okay, well, we'll see what happens, whatever. And so I was kind of like, okay, Calvin's nice. And I'm like, Michelle, I don't know if she's going to do that well. Matthew as Ashley, I was like, okay, this could be interesting. Maybe he's the most interesting, catfish, for the season so far. Roxana, I felt that she was going to be a really interesting character. So I was like, okay, I'm interested. I've never seen someone like her, it seems, on these shows before. So I was interested. Daniel, I was like, is he really always on like that? I'm like, I'm interested then to see Daniel. So I was like favoring Daniel because I think he could be probably pretty funny. Nick, I'm like, I'm not sure what I feel about Nick. I think he's handsome, of course, but I don't know if I think he's smart. I might not think he's smart. And Ava is actually pretty excited about Ava. I like the duo. I like the fact that she's kind of all glitz and glamour, and then she has this older sister that she's playing with. So I found that was a very interesting duo to be playing like a half catfish. So I wasn't super excited just because they're brand new and I'm trying to warm up to them. But there's a couple people that I kind of liked.
I was immediately drawn to Kay just as herself, her person. I find her to be a fun character. Daniel came into my life and I said, oh my God, why do I love you? Why do I want to be best friends with you immediately? He was so fun. Nick walks in the door and I'm like, oh my God, here we go. We always got to have one of these bros. I'm not going to like you. It's just, we're different people. Sorry. But to be honest, he kind of warmed up to me by the end of these 2 episodes. He has a bit more of a goofy side than most of our little bros have. And so I did not hate him towards the end of this. I think I'm going to be okay with him. And then Ava and Chanel, I was like, okay, so it's clearly Chanel is she's the personality. She wanted to go on this show and she was like, I guess I would catfish as my younger sister who I don't know if it was her idea to bring her on or the producers or how we brought both of them in the house, but Ava brought 0 to the table in just about every scene. She was only bringing the photos and Chanel.
And the outfits. Those outfits, they were, I'm really enjoying their combination. I really like seeing what they're wearing and they're just both so fashionable and kind of fun. And I like their dynamic. I didn't mention Kay. I really liked Kay in the beginning, but then I was frustrated by her by the end of the first episode. And we'll talk about that.
You're like, your reads are off. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So after they sort of get in, we're getting to know them. We have an icebreaker game. The only thing of note in this icebreaker game, from my perspective, was Chantele, do you kiss your pet on the mouth?
I would let my pet kiss me on the mouth. Yes. I
Yeah.
used to have this cat, and she's was the cutest cat ever. This like white Persian kitty with like one blue eye and one green eye, and she would purr and say her name. And she would actually literally, I still ate meat at this time, and so if I had like a piece of like meat or something, she'd go and eat the meat from my mouth. It was like a trick. And so she was very good that way. So yes, I would allow mouth to mouth contact with my kitty, and I've had dogs licked my face before, so yes.
Yeah, no, I
I'm not gonna
understand.
be
Their
like,
mouths are
but
disgusting. I fully am aware. I'm a dog person. I've always had dogs all my life, but I have 2 babies that I just go smoochy smoochy with, and I am okay with it.
it's kind of like
But
a
I did,
baby, right? Like, I don't know.
yeah. I thought it was hilarious that Michelle, who's literally got 2 dogs in her picture, is like, no, that's disgusting. And then, of course, they're all like, she's a catfish. She's not who she says she is.
Well, absolutely. And I was just like, that's what I guess was when I was seeing Michelle when she came on. I was like, I don't know if she's gonna get how to play the game enough for me to be wanting to root for her. Cause like this was an error. Like, even if you you don't like having dogs lick your face or anything like that, you gotta think what the masses are gonna be thinking and play the politician part where it's like, I don't want to offend anybody by my answers or look like I'm someone that people might not like. So I just thought it was a big mistake that she was so honest there. She should have been a little bit more calculated.
Okay, but did you expect Michelle to be
No, I didn't.
calculated or strategic?
But that's what I'm saying. She didn't prove me wrong. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to root for you.
No.
It's just kind of, you're just there for a little bit.
Yeah, Michelle brings us a character that we don't always see. She's, a little bit older than the rest of them. She's from very Southern. She has kids. I mean, she's there to give us whatever that entertainment is.
Who
I don't
gives
have a
more
ton of
entertainment
between
between her and Lisa from last season? Who do you think is brings more to the table?
Well, so far, Michelle.
True.
So far. So she's already beat Lisa, and we had a whole season with Lisa. Ratings. We jumped so quick. They just got to know each other. It seems like it's the first day, and we're going to rate people from this gathering. And I did write every single one of them down, but it felt like Kay was a general.
She had 3 for sure. And I thought she was doing a really good job in like the first introduction, stuff like that. I thought that she was very engaging. I was not surprised that anybody was like relating with her really well. I thought she did an excellent job right in there in the beginning.
Yeah. So Calvin ranks Nick number 1. Nick does not return the favor. He ranks Ava number 1. And then Ava does not return the favor because she ranks Ashley/Matthew number 1. Kay and Roxana, now they definitely are vibing together. They rank each other number 1. Ashley ranks Michelle number 1, but Michelle's another one who ranks Kay number 1. And then Daniel is also going to rank Kay number 1. Then getting down to the bottom, we see a 7th place vote for Michelle, for Nick, and for Ava.
Yeah.
I get this. I feel this.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised, really. That bro stance is not necessarily as engaging. Like, he is more likable, like the version that we see of him, than the image of him and what he's hasn't had expressed up until that point through just chatting. So I think that as people will get to know him and know his personality a little bit more, they're going to like him a little bit more. But people are making obviously judgments about him just by his looks, and it's just not as favorable. So I totally understood all of those people be on the bottom. Ava was just not coming across as very likable, and it did seem like she was a catfish.
Yeah, and we should specify because Kay, sorry, she spells it Kai, so I called her Kai for like the first episode. Kay, she felt like Ava was coming for her. And Ava, I did not feel like
I
came
didn't think that.
across
Mm-mm.
super genuine or fun or likable in this first like getting to know you circle chats. I felt like Ava did have this, maybe I can't put my finger on it, kind of standoffish thing. And Kay's like, "Are you coming for me?"
I didn't think that it came off as coming for her.
Right.
Like I mean, I guess it's because also we're watching it and I'm seeing like poor little Ava. Like Ava's just like she's being eaten alive by her sister. Like she's just like
Yes. She's like,
she
"Why am I
just
here? What are we doing?
kind of. And so I
Do I just
do
sit here?"
wish that Ava gave a little bit more of her personality because I think that what was not coming across correctly is how her sister would react to certain things, which comes across as a catfish because it would be a catfish because it's her sister.
Yeah.
So I understood why people were not vibing with her particularly,
Hmm.
but I still really liked the duo. So it's like,
Well, you can keep them. They don't go anywhere. So let's before we get to the results, that we do see a little flirty conversation that Kay reaches out to Calvin. And they do ultimately seem like they make a bit of an alliance here. Like, we got this, mutual, got your back kind of thing.
love it. I mean, I always like people making
Mhm.
alliances. That's like I love anybody that's thinking about strategy, anybody that's looking at ways to do better in the game while they're learning how to play it. Yeah, I'm all in. I'm down.
While the real VB is asking this question, I'll go ahead and say, because I only put it out on social media, so we should say it here. But Chantele and I are going to cover the first 2 episodes each week on Thursdays at this time. And then the next 2, the 3rd and 4th episodes every week, I will cover on Mondays
Monday.
with Josh. So watch your episodes accordingly and be ready. Yes, have to cover that business. Thank you for that reminder. So, yeah, I like Kay and Calvin just fine together. I loved this conversation. And then we get to our results. Coming in 8th. No
No
surprise.
surprise. No surprise at all.
You can love Michelle all day long, but she just is going to feel like an outsider at first because we're just usually going to have a bunch of youngins who bond over flirting, right?
Mhm.
That's how we
I
start.
I just it's really though I think that she would have been okay if she hadn't done the dog thing, having dog pictures and then not appearing to be a dog person with that response. It's just like people are just that's what all they have to go on. So
Yeah.
I expect her to be in the bottom.
7th is Roxana.
I was surprised. I thought it would be Ava.
Yeah, I was not sure exactly, but I felt like maybe it was just a lack of connecting with her. She didn't really give out a ton. So maybe that's what it was. And then 6th, Ava, not surprised at all that she's this low here. We have a tie for 4th place, and that is going to be Nick and Ashley.
Mm-hmm.
Middle of the road's okay, especially in the very first rating. Yeah.
Especially this rating. Ugh, I wouldn't want that position.
Top 3. 3rd place, Daniel.
Your guy.
My guy, for some reason. He's the love of my life right now. 2nd place, Calvin, and our girl, Kay. Top of the leaderboard.
I was totally not surprised by this. I thought it was I thought that maybe Calvin was going to be 3rd and Daniel was going to be 2nd just for the fact that they just made that alliance and so I thought it was going to come into play, her being able to save him. You know what I mean? I just thought that's how things were going to work out. But I was like, oh, perfect. Like they did just make this alliance. They're going to be 1st and 2nd and they're going to really solidify their bond here. They're going to choose who's going to be going out together. They're going to be able to strategize a little bit. So I was down for this. I was happy that they made the alliance and they were 1st and 2nd.
Yes, great for them. That's awesome. But surprise twist here, there is only going to be a sole influencer. So Calvin does not get to be included in a discussion. They don't get to sort of build anything further. At least at this point, Kay is going to solely have to block someone all by
I
her
think this
lonesome.
is, I mean, I know you probably love this. Well, not hated it, but I was like, man, they're doing Kate dirty. Because, okay, I mean, I get it as twist purposes, like, oh my God, shake it up, make people not know what's going to happen so they can't, I get that. But I feel as though it's not beneficial for her to be making this sole decision so new. Like they don't know each other that well at all. They don't really have that much to go on. I felt as though it would be very easy for her game to tank after this because she just didn't know people well enough and makes the wrong decision. So I just thought that it just is setting her up to potentially fail a lot more easily than if it was just the normal format where the first and second people were going to be the joint influencers and making the joint decision. So
Right.
definitely shaking it up for them, but I just feel that it's making it a much more difficult road for Kay to do well this year.
I thought the opposite. I thought the being the first blocking, and because they don't know everyone so well, that this would be the time you could safely do that. If you're doing this in the next 2 to 3 blockings, then you've built relationships and you solely can get people pissed off at you. But this way, she doesn't have to show any cards to Calvin or whoever the other person is. Mm-hmm. She can block whoever the heck she wants, and then she could individually connect with everyone else and say, I would never have blocked you. I am so glad I solely got to do this and save you. And she could like build such amazing connections because it was all in her power, is how I was looking at it.
I mean, I definitely can see it as such. I guess like I'm thinking that you want it to be an opportunity to learn things in someone as well, right? So she didn't get the opportunity to learn where Calvin really sits. She doesn't get to get that a little bit additional piece of information from having the opportunity to be working with somebody, maybe even being like, oh, that's not who I'm going for, and then going with maybe who Calvin was going for, and that's going to be something that you'd be able to use further down the line that might be beneficial. Mm-hmm. So I just don't think that she got the full benefits of being, I keep on saying HOH in my head, being the first influencer of the season. But I do hear where you're coming from, where if she does a good job with it, she could use it to her advantage. So I see your point.
Yeah. So she is going to, I mean, I think at this point we know who she's going to block. There was one person she specifically had an issue with, whether that was real or in her head, but the way she phrases it is that she's blocking someone who she thinks is not who they say they are. Mm-hmm. And then she says Ava, and it's because she felt Ava threw shade at her.
Wait, what was the shade thing again?
It was one of the questions in the game. And then after they were chatting, the Icebreaker game, after they were chatting about it later, Ava said, /Chanel said, I'm so glad almost all of us had dance moves. It was about the stupid dance moves.
Like the signature dance move. Like, do you have a signature dance move, Sarah?
I do.
Okay.
It's a lot of shoulder.
Okay.
I didn't know about it until people pointed it out to me, but so I have to own it. Okay. I didn't say it was great, Chantele. Do you have a signature dance move?
No. Well, I don't know. I danced a lot my whole life growing up, so I definitely start dance floors. I'm invited to weddings just so I start the dance floor. So I have many a dance move.
Yes.
I think I like doing a lot of hair whips and hair flips and stuff. Maybe like something like that, or like a little hair whip. I'll definitely be doing a hair whip if I'm on a dance floor. 100%. So.
Yeah, you can't. You got to drag me off a dance floor. I'm all over it. But yeah, I'm sorry. Kay, she had too many moves. She couldn't say she had one. She's like you.
Like me.
Exactly. And Ava offended her. So anyway, so dumb. But here we are. And Ava is getting the boot. at this point.
But why
She's getting
did
blocked.
Chanel say that? Like, I think it was also a very, like, why are you kind of insulting someone and being like, almost all of us? Or instead of being like, oh my God, you don't have any dance moves? Like talk about like your
Just
dance
say
moves or something.
just
I
say
don't know.
something like, I can't wait to see everyone's moves. Like, why make anyone
Yes,
possibly not be included, right? At this point,
absolutely.
we're loving everybody. Day one.
Bad move, Chanel.
Oh, yeah. I really feel like Chanel was trying so hard the first day. I felt like she was rehearsed. I felt like there was just a lot coming at us from Chanel that first day. Later, I was like, okay, now I feel like you've settled in and being more interesting, in my
Normal.
opinion. Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
engaging, vulnerable.
Yeah.
Do we know anybody's signs yet?
No, I don't know
I
anyone's
need to
signs.
know their signs, like that duo.
We should be able to figure it out because they're not in a house right now. They are
Oh,
out
true.
and
Yeah.
about on the internet. So we should be able to find that, and we will, because Chantele and I have to
Judge
talk
people
about their
on
astrology.
signs.
Well, Ava and Chanel are going to head on down the hall thinking that they're going to go visit Kay, which would have been fun.
Very fun.
But instead, they're going to enter a little room and find out that they get a second chance. And they are going to clone somebody. Okay. How do we feel about this twist?
Again, I thought it was a little bit too early because they really don't know anybody that well. And I felt that all the characters were so different that it would be very challenging without having knowing them for like a day to be able to pick up on how they speak or like what they tend to talk about. I just felt it was a little bit too soon to clone someone. And I thought that it would immediately, I was like, oh, Kay's getting cloned for sure. Like it screwed up her game. And that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, ooh, Kay screwed up her game. Because I was like, they're going to clone her for sure. I would.
Absolutely.
But then I was like, but you know what? She's too unique for them to be able to portray her in an accurate fashion. These two particular people. So I was like, you know what? They have to do Michelle. Like Michelle, it would be the easiest out of all those people to clone, but I really wanted them to do Kay, but it was just too early for that to happen.
Yeah, I agree. And you know me, I love a twist, but we just met these people. Why do we need, as viewers, why do we need a twist already? Like, let's get settled with these people. And then I guess maybe you think, oh, we don't want anyone to leave.
Yeah, maybe they wanted to save them. Like maybe they have a lot of money on these two. Like maybe, I don't know, Ava's managers or whatever booked her this gig and she has to stay on the air.
Chanel. Ava's manager, Chanel.
Right.
Booked this. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, maybe like where contract says like they have to be on the show for at least a couple, like 4 episodes or something like that for their contract or something. Cause I was like, would they have done this for everybody? I don't know. And
yeah, I mean, I think it is set in their production schedule. They did it for the UK version.
Oh, that's an interesting fact that I'm seeing that this other Chanel has mentioned here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she did look familiar to me. So now I want to go back and I'm sure, is that one of the boy-girl seasons? Boy and girl?
Was she with Will from Amazing Race?
Ooh, maybe. Or with
I don't know the cycles. I don't know which one's which.
Bryant from last season as well was on America's Next Top Model. I'm going to take a peek at that.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Are they literally just going through America's Top Model?
It seems so, at least this episode or this season.
It appears that way. Well, if you want to get on another show, start with that one. Okay, let's break this down. Okay, we're stuck with the clone twist. Nobody likes it, but here we are. I was going to ask you strategically, who do you clone?
It has to be her.
Obviously Kay. You would absolutely take the top person, or even if it wasn't the person who ended up being the influencer, but you knew that they were popular, you would take them and you would tank their game on day 2. That's what you do if you're really trying to play this game. But I think that Ava and Chanel are not good at this game. They're just here to entertain us. And so they had to choose the easiest route. And Michelle is the easiest person to imitate, to make up stories, and to basically boot out of your way and take over. And so I felt cheated. I felt cheated that they went the easy route.
Well, what else are they going to do? They're trying to stay in the game, right?
Exactly.
Like if it was me, I'd be like, "Hey, I'm coming for you. I'm coming. I mean, like, I don't even care. I'm blowing this place up. Kay, I'm taking you down." Absolutely, I'd be going for Kay. But for those two that just, I don't think that they could find any commonalities, any life experience, even vernacular, like any phrasing, like they just are so completely out, like not in sync with where Kay has grown up from, that they had to go with something that had some sort of similarities. Like they were able to say like, oh, mom had 4 kids, so we can kind of start basing a character off of their mom that would allow them to get some believability. I don't think that they could have done a believable Kay that, I mean, it might still just tank her game, which would be a little bit just desserts, but
for who?
Just desserts for Ava and Chanel if they went okay and just did not do a good job, but like other Kay was like, maybe they could make her do something silly or say things or just act irrationally or do something. They could, rile her up maybe, but they had to go with the lowest hanging fruit there.
Is your audio going through your earbuds?
It is.
Okay. They said there's an echo in the chat, and I checked my settings. I'm not sure where the echo would come from. Yeah, I'm not hearing it either, so hopefully it just went away.
All right,
because I'm not sure how we would have an echo, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
In the meantime, this is my mom. Hi, Mom. She's out here throwing Chanel and Ava under the bus.
Does this sound better, chat?
Sounds good on my end, so we will. Okay, good. There's no sound problem now. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so here we go. They're choosing Michelle. Let's go. They do still get to give a goodbye message, which I was so glad about because I was like, we miss a message, I'm going to be mad because that is important.
I love the messages.
They came
not
in
this one, not this one, not this one though. In general, this one not a good message, not good.
I get that you are upset and mad, but they were like, you thought we weren't who we are, but we are.
But no, you weren't though.
Yeah, Kay's like, nope, yeah, I got you.
The thing is though, I don't know if it's because we're so into reality TV and we've watched all these shows, but I would immediately think that Blue Tally was Ava and Chanel. Like there was like, especially with them being so upset in their goodbye messages, and then new twists happening.
No one? Okay, we're a little ahead right now, but later, when we finally get Blue and Orange Michelle, why did no one say, is this Ava and Chanel?
That's the first thing I would say.
First thing I would think.
First thing. I was like, this is
someone just got booted last night, blocked. And the next day there's an extra person.
Mm-hmm. And they just did this last season? Right? They didn't. No, they didn't.
They did it. No. UK. So, most of it
was hilarious in the UK. Did you watch that season?
I didn't. No.
I was just like, Orange Tally. No, I'm Orange Tally. Blue Tally. And it was like with the person Tally that it happened to, it was just like the sweet girl. And she's like, why me? And it was kind of funny.
You kind of feel bad, right? Like that's how I feel about Michelle here in a minute when she's like, what? Why? Oh no. And I was like, no, Michelle, I need you to buck up right now. Keep your head in the game. She was like, no, this threw her out so fast. She was like, no, I can't. Okay. So Blue Michelle is going to lurk in this circle chat where they all talk about Ava and Chanel. And so now they get insight on who, I don't know, who's a butt
really
kisser,
feel.
who's like, get them out of here.
I mean, you do want to gain people like friendships by having maybe common enemies or like talking about people. Like that is kind of how you can bond with people, especially in this world. But I would probably save the shit talking to like private chats because you still don't know who you might be offending. Like just because you're saying it in the open circle, like somebody else could be like, oh yeah, girl, I feel the same way. But they could be like, man, that was kind of mean. Like I don't really like that. You know what I mean? So I just thought that it was very risky to be so candid about their feelings about Ava.
Right. I think some people are just a little sassy, a little saucy, and they just don't hide it. And I'm okay with that. If it tanks their game, I'm fine with it.
I know her date's gonna go soon. I mean, I like her, but I don't know if she's gonna be able to survive the whole season.
So Blue is going to finally join. Oh dear. This sends original Michelle just on a total spiral. She does not speak first, which killed me. I was like, let's go. Please say something. No, she doesn't. She gives Blue Michelle the time to phrase a whole thing. Now, granted, we know what's happening, so I might not be completely objective on this, but I immediately was like, one of these people protests too much, and the other one is just like, what's happening? And I have to imagine the person who's just like, what's happening is the real one who's just so confused, right?
Yes. I mean, I can understand though from the people in there just being like, I don't really know though, because they don't really know either of them like anybody very well. And so I think it doesn't allow them to be as critical as we can be on the outside because they're just like, well, we don't know that much about her. So is she somebody that gushes and shared too much information? Like we there's no level, so it's very hard for them, I think, to be able to tell who's saying not to protest too much. Like maybe she is the type of person that protests too much. So
right.
But I would believe
if you were one of us and we said, clearly this is Ava and Chanel getting a second chance.
Exactly.
This sounds like, two young, spicy people versus, but again, it's just because I know Michelle is like meek and they were spicy. So yeah, I don't know that I'm being completely objective at this point.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you because I'm just kind of like, I feel like it was pretty easy to be able to tell, but we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt as the fact that they don't know these people well enough to be able to have a critical mind. And they definitely didn't see the UK season. So to know that this twist is a possibility.
Okay. So now let's see. Blue Michelle is going to open a chat with Roxana and Ashley. And this is basically everyone's just going to be polite. They don't know. They can't tell who's who. So they're just going to be polite and supportive. And Blue Michelle's like, we're killing it.
They were doing okay, but I'm sorry, Chanel. You're an interesting personality, great casting, for sure. But she's not great at this game. Like, you just gotta rein it in a little bit. And I was saying a lot of the times is like, listen to your damn sister, because she's actually her kindness and softness is what is needed a little bit more than kind of like the brashness that we have of Chanel. And so I wish that there was they vibed a little bit better instead of it seeming like Chanel kind of just steamrolls what Ava might want to contribute and just does her own thing. So sure, it was they're doing okay, but like I think that they could have done a lot better, like very easily. That Michelle is a very easy person to clone and appear to be real. Especially with reading what Michelle puts down, right? And be like, okay, so that's the type of things that she says. And that's, you know what I mean? I would have used that as information. I'm like, okay, that's the date that this actually happened. what would be believable than that? Like I would be taking everything in, and it seems like they kind of are just creating completely new things that I don't know. I think I feel like they're just not doing that great of a job. But
I know. Well,
I'm just being
I mean,
judgmental because that's what we're
yeah,
here to do today. But
that's what
it's
that
just
is
my
it.
opinion.
We are here to tell our opinions. Well, on the other side of things, Blue Michelle, wait,
Orange,
oh,
yeah.
do I have it backwards?
Blue Michelle is new. Is fake
Yeah, it's
Michelle.
new. Okay, so sorry. Now we're moving on to original Orange Michelle. She's going to open a chat with Daniel. Interesting choice. I don't know. Is this from a producer? I was like, why are you reaching out to Daniel? But it seems like it went really well. He said like I'm going to be supportive, but then he was like, I think I'm convinced. Like this is it.
Well, I mean, again, it's going to come back to I think they did this twist a little bit too early because if they had a little bit more, a friendship going, it would be in a better fight. You know what I mean? Like Orange Michelle could be like, listen, like we talked about this. It's me. Help me spread the word to everybody else like that. It's me. Like have somebody else fighting for you instead of just like defending yourself. Have someone like go into bat for you. But nobody really knows you that well. You've had maybe a conversation with one person. So nobody's really going to go to bat for you because it's kind of like, I don't really even know you. So Orange Shelly or Orange Michelle, Blue Michelle, whatever. I still don't know either of you. So it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, I mean, I think on one hand, the reason you do it this early is because this is the time you could clone someone, you could fake it because we don't know everything yet. But this
They
is the
didn't, I
downside
don't
of it
remember
being too
how
early.
long in, like at least, I would say at least it was 4 episodes was in because we really knew Tally quite
Mm,
well. And it was somebody that left, I believe, and then came back in.
mhm.
I don't remember how early it was. So but it definitely wasn't the first day. I don't remember it being the first day, but maybe
Right,
I'm just misremembering. I don't know.
right. Well, the best thing out of all of this is that original Michelle feels better. She's like, okay,
Good.
Daniel believes me. I feel better. And I was like, good. Feel better because I need you to get in this game. Okay.
Please give them a
Okay.
challenge.
Here we go. This game called
Good.
This Is Me, pitting Blue Michelle versus Orange Michelle. We're going to post a pic. They each get to write out the caption, the background, the story behind this picture. We don't get to see who writes first, which I was like, that would be the tell. But they're going to post them at the same time. Blue Michelle, new Michelle, is really good at crafting a story. She really did give you an image, made you feel something with literally no details in it whatsoever. Whereas Orange Original is killing it with actual details.
Yeah.
Yet our people here are split, completely split.
I'm shocked as like, wow, this is working. Like, I mean, one of the pictures was with the shirt on. Like, obviously, naming anything specific in the picture, I think would have been they might as well have gone wrong and strong than vague and not specific and just going for the emotion part of it because that to me, I'd be like, okay, well, she's not telling me anything specific about this picture. Like, I don't care about like how happy you were and the kids making noise on the lake. Like, I want to know what
Right.
lake that was. I want to know what kind of fish you're holding, how many fish you caught that day. Like, I want facts.
Yes. By the way, Maddie is telling us that it was the first day.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Interesting. I don't know. That sounds. I mean, I guess that's just the way they set it up. But yeah, I feel like, and again, Chantele and I feel like we'd think this through. We'd be sitting there reading this in the circle and going, this person is giving me details. This person is not. I felt like that was so obvious. Yet people like Kay were like, yes, Blue Michelle.
And Roxana. I was like, Roxana, I feel like you'd be a little more discerning. I did not think she'd be fooled.
They're like, you're making me feel something. That's real. I was like, what? What?
I'm wondering, though, if because we don't see how they're encouraged to have some of these conversations. So
Mm-mm.
I wonder if they're asked to maybe talk about both picture or both responses, and then they're just pick and choose what they share with us to make it seem as though they might
Yeah.
be going the other way. Because at this point, if I saw what they have done up until now, as much as I like them, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, sorry, Blue Michelle isn't going to be able to win this battle here unless they just want her to stay, because I don't think she's
Yeah.
doing a good job. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
Blue. I said Blue.
This is a highly edited show. We don't get to see all the conversations. We don't even get to see what exactly they're responding to. So when they're like, "Oh, I don't know about this," we don't know what they're actually responding to. So you do have to keep that in mind. Okay, well, this game sounds like the people are split. Some people really believe blue. Some people really believe orange. Now we're going to have a wolf pack chat. Calvin, Daniel, and Nick. Dudes being dudes.
Dudes being dudes. You know, I like a good alliance, so I think it's smart for people to get together, having sub-alliance.
Yeah.
Like, you should have a sub-alliance with every single person I think, in the circle. So this was great. And then I thought it was even better that Nick decided to let's talk about orange and blue tally, because Michelle, because I think that it's like seeing how people think and how they're considering both of these two people is very indicative of how they're going to be playing the game moving forward. And if they are a catfish, like, just, it's a lot of information could be garnered from having this conversation about them. So I thought it was pretty good on Frat Boy to start this conversation.
Well, before they start this conversation, Calvin's gonna say that he's feeling okay.
Okay.
And then Nick's like, "That's cool with me because I'm feeling Ashley."
So because we hear later on that Matthew says that Ashley is a lesbian. And then Daniel says in like his own room that, like, okay, you're feeling her, Nick, but like, isn't she a lesbian? And so is he just liking her because she's another like a beautiful woman that's in the circle and hasn't realized that she's lesbian? Or where's the
No, and this is probably when I start to actually like Nick, because I was like, "You're so not seeing the whole picture." I don't think. Is it Matthew who's playing Ashley? Mm-hmm. He says this is the gayest photo ever, and I was like, "Well, I don't know." I'm like squinting. I'm like, I don't know that it's the gayest picture ever, but he ended her bio with
the rainbow heart.
Yeah, the heart with the gay pride flag in it. And so Nick just did not read that part. He did not read the full bio. He looked at the photo. He said, "Cute girl." He did not read the bio. So Nick's all like, "Ashley," and people are like, "Okay." But yes, let's talk about Michelle's, and then let's invite Blue Michelle in here. Now, is this what you're saying that you liked, Chantele?
No. I already talked about what I liked. I like the fact that, like, I thought that he was just going to be talking about it with those two guys.
Yeah.
I don't know how useful it is to go and try to entrap Blue Michelle. I don't know. I'm not sure if it was helpful in any sort of way. I guess maybe the producers told them to, like, hey, invite Blue Michelle in just to give them more camera time. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I didn't particularly think that this was a good part of that strategy.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like, y'all talk it out, bounce ideas off of each other. Who likes this one? Who likes orange, blue, whatever. But then when you bring one of them in, even though they were like, let's trap Blue, and so we know for sure it's orange, it's not going to work. You can't just talk to one person, because she can say whatever she wants. You guys do not know original Michelle. And that's basically how we go here. Calvin is so 100% convinced this wedding picture. Oh my God. This wedding picture.
I mean,
they are stuck in how dated it is. He cannot picture anyone looking like that in the year 2000.
It's true though.
It is, you guys, have y'all been to South Carolina?
Okay, no, I have not been to South Carolina, but I have been like to the 2000s as an adult, and I don't know anybody.
I remember the 2000s. I do remember that. Look, I don't want anyone to be offended by what I'm about to say. I grew up in the South, and I've been to a lot of rural Southern areas. I have cousins who still live in those rural Southern areas, and their trends are different than ours. And that look is legit any decade in those areas. I
Wait,
am
if
trying to
you had
be real gentle.
if you got married back in the South, you would be wearing something similar, even this day and age.
Me? No, because I have always been a city girl feeling my fashion. But my family, yes.
I can see photos now.
I could probably look up some photos and share them with you guys. So I'm just being delicate, but I understand where Calvin's coming from, because he's like, no way. But I'm like, yes way.
I mean, we don't really have the South or anything like it here in Canada, so it's completely unfamiliar to me to have something.
But you probably
that
have rural areas that are just not up to date.
It would be more Midwesty though than Southern. You know what I mean? Like style wise, I would assume. So maybe, but I don't know anybody that lives there.
Yes, thank you, chat. They get it. We know there's some people. There's just some areas that are behind, and especially since she did admit that it was from Goodwill. You know, people who
that
are
could
getting
even be older too.
Goodwill. True. It's dated. Yeah. I felt so bad for original Michelle, because I was like, oh my God, we're judging her look. But it's so true. But yeah, so Blue Michelle, you know, new Michelle here is like, no, that's not my wedding picture. That's from prom in the 80s. And this hits all for Calvin. He's like, yep, that's what I thought. Done. Gotcha.
I mean, it was smart, obviously, on Blue Michelle to realize that that's kind of what they wanted from them. I don't know how I would have handled it, because you know the truth, right? If that was the truth, I would have, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what I would say, but I feel like it would have been a little bit more believable, but I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so, like, I don't think the producers are like, we didn't even realize how good this was going to be once they threw that picture up. Well, they probably did once they were like, we're picking this picture because what is this picture? Are you kidding me? And then she's like, that's my wedding day, and I got the dress from Goodwill. You're already like, wait, who gets their wedding dress from Goodwill? You're already questioning that, right?
Yes.
It's totally doable. She obviously did it, but you go, really? And then, oh God, yeah, okay. It got messy from there. Okay. Then we're going to have an Orange Michelle conversation with Roxana, Ashley, and Kay. She's basically like, this is not easy for me. I don't like this. Please ask me questions. How can I prove myself to you? And again, if you're only talking to one of them, I feel like you're just going to believe everything that you're hearing, right?
Absolutely. And that's kind of, it must be producer push, because I think we've heard in the past that how they do it is that they have to choose who they're going to be talking to each day. And like, there's like a schedule that's being made out, because a lot of past contestants have said like, oh, I wish that I'd use my time and talk to this person instead of this person, because like I only had a certain amount of people to talk to. So maybe when they're planning their schedule, like they were only allowed to maybe talk to that one person.
Right.
Because they should have been going around in duos with like, you know what I mean? Like ask away, like, and put them in the hot seat the whole time. Instead of allowing them to have time to go and study and like go and like come up with these amazing stories. but I guess I want them to be successful-ish, so
Yeah.
it's easier for them to be on their own.
Well, Roxana's response here is like, this felt like the most honest answers. Thank you. And I was like, what does that mean? You don't know Michelle, but this felt like an honest answer. I'm just like, what are these people thinking? Okay.
I mean, I do feel for Michelle, OG Michelle, but
Mm.
I also want like the, Blue Michelle to win. I do want them to stay. It's just for me that just like, what, Michelle, come on, like you can do it. But she's not giving, like, I think it would be very easy for her to convince people, and she's just not bringing it. So, and if she's not going to bring it, then I want her to be overtaken by Blue Michelle.
Mm.
But would you want to have to play Blue Michelle for the rest of the season? That's annoying.
No, that's an absolute bummer. But I don't love Ava and Chanel. Like, they're not great at this game either. So
I think I just want to see their outfits. Like, I like them putting on their camo outfits and having their like sleeping attire. Maybe, I think, and they're pretty.
every shot, Ava's saying nothing, and Chanel's like,
well, she
come
said
on,
about the bass.
Focus.
The bass.
She did. The one time she said something, she knew it was a bass. Look at that. Good job. Good job knowing your fish. All right. After this, Nick, it's time for Nick to make his moves on Ashley, you guys. This was hilarious because he's actually talking to Matthew, and Matthew's like, Daddy Nick, yes, come here, look at your arms, let's talk. And then when Nick like immediately just starts in on the flirt, Matthew's like, oh, your gaydar is off, buddy, but yes, okay. I'll do this, okay.
Now I'm obsessed with that duo just because Matthew is just welcoming the flirtation of Nick, and they're both very enjoyable people and characters. I would like to hang out with both of them. Like, they seem like they would be a good time, like smiles all the time. So I like them getting into a faux man's, showman's, whatever man's. I love the duo.
Love it. I mean, because they just don't know who they're actually talking to. And here we're going to have conversations between Nick and Matthew. And yes, that's a duo we're here for. I love it a lot. Orange Michelle is going to touch base with Blue Michelle.
Smart.
I don't know what you accomplish out of this, though.
Not much. Well, I mean, okay, I think it could be helpful for actually Blue Michelle just to see how mad and how she's reacting, just to gain more information. I think it could be for Orange Michelle. She could maybe scare them a little bit or razzle them a little bit. So it doesn't really get much for Orange Michelle. So I'm thinking it's a producer ask as well. But I think Blue Michelle could have used it as a way to get some information on how she is, like who she is as a person. I think that's very useful, but not as useful, obviously, for Orange Michelle.
Yeah, I don't feel like anyone gains anything out of this, but I felt like Blue Michelle handled this really, really well. Ava, we should call them Ava and Chanel, because they had been so spicy up until this moment, and we're really working it in the other conversations in the group. But when Orange was like, why are you doing this to me? Basically, like, she was upset. They were very polite. They were very kind of like, this is a game. We're all playing. This is nothing personal against you. And then when Michelle brings up, like, you're pretending to me, like you're lying, they were like, how many liars are in this game, though? Who else might be lying? I think some other people are lying too. Like, I thought they handled it really well, which I just appreciated, because I do feel bad for Michelle at this point.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully she got some peace of mind a little bit and get her gaming boots on and go and save herself. Come on, Michelle. OG.
Yeah, we'll just call them Chanel. That's true. So let's see. Ben, I missed your comment, but you asked something about what if they cloned a catfish. And I honestly would probably enjoy that more. If you, I mean, they obviously don't know who they're cloning when they make that choice. But if they had happened to choose a catfish, then I'm not probably feeling bad for anyone.
No.
Like I feel bad for Michelle. And even if they had cloned Kay, which strategically I think they should have, even though I love Kay, I feel like Kay would have fought, they would have fought, and then we would have had like an equal battle, right? But like you're saying, Michelle's like rolling over and dying basically.
Come on,
here,
Michelle,
and
you're good.
I feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, at least though, with her having that conversation with Chantele, she might have got a little bit of peace of mind, and maybe it'll be like, okay, they're not trying. It is a game, right? I'm playing a game here, and people are taking identities potentially. Like, okay, like I hopefully it gets her amped up to like fight, because right now, just for shits and giggles, I'd be keeping blue Michelle for sure.
Okay, so I just want to say no spoilers in the chat, please. We end this episode on a cliffhanger. We go in, we get the circle alert. We go into it is time. We are going to make a decision here. One of them has to go tonight at the end of this day. One of them will stay. Will it be the real Michelle? Will the real Michelle please stand up? Or is it going to be Chantele/Ava? Again, no spoilers, but
I haven't watched it yet, so I actually don't know. I think that they've edited it in order for us to believe that Orange Michelle doesn't have a chance, but I think Orange Michelle is going to stay. If I'm not mistaken, when they do it in the UK, I feel like it was live. I don't feel like it's taped and then edited. Like I feel like it's on, like it's ongoing. It comes on every day, and if I'm not mistaken, they're in there when we're watching it, and so the fact that this is recorded and then edited, it's like to make us think a certain thing. And so I feel as though Orange Michelle is going to be staying, but they're making it look as though she doesn't have a shot.
Yeah, I definitely feel like original Orange Michelle doesn't have a shot. And I don't know if that's the edit or if it's just because Orange Michelle's not doing very well in this game. So yeah, I too haven't watched the third episode. I sometimes will look ahead to get how it ends, but I did not want to in this case because I'm kind of just feeling bad for Michelle. I'm going to sit in my feelings for a minute before. Again, I just don't feel like it's a fair fight. Like I don't have high expectations for Michelle's game, and for her to have to deal with this just makes me feel bad.
It makes me feel bad, but it's also like you came on this show, like you're being eaten alive.
I know.
Like imagine she's playing with people like us. It would be over.
Girl, it'd be over. We'd have you out so quick. I do feel like she's like sitting there and she's like, why is this happening to me? And I feel like she's talking to producer. She's like, what? Why? Why me? I feel like she's like yelling at the producers.
Like, you're on a show where people catfish as people for $100,000. Like, play the game on TV.
Yes. Okay. Instead of spoilers, thank you, Adrian. Let's talk about. We talked about our first impressions at the top, and I have to admit that I like Nick a little bit more than my first impression, but I feel good about Kay, but I also know that when you are hot in the early days, that it backfires. So I don't really feel good about Kay's longevity.
Kay might be able to do well because she already formed that bond with Calvin. So depending on if that kind of grows and then maybe if it expands a little bit, she could be protected a bit. But I totally agree with you. Like people that are like influencers for the first couple of weeks and they usually fall to the bottom and then they're usually out. So I think longevity wise, I feel like Nick and Michelle, or Michael, was that his name?
Matthew.
Matthew / Ashley.
Ashley. Mm-hmm.
I feel like those three guys could do pretty well. I don't know if it's because the wolf pack was started or what. No, she's not in the wolf pack, but I don't know. I just feel like Daniel, Nick, and Ashley are going to do the best. That's who I think is going to go the furthest right now.
I feel really good about Daniel. I don't know if he's like the winner, but everyone is going to enjoy him enough to keep him probably third place. You know, like he could be third place for the whole season. Ashley, I think, is going to do well, Matthew Ashley, but I will be interested to see because it is hard to catfish, right? Especially opposite gender. So I don't know if he's going to totally mess up. And it just takes one weird comment, where he doesn't understand how periods work or something. And they're like, nope, that's a dude, you know?
True. Very true.
So I feel good about him other than
like, oh yeah, what if there's like a makeup challenge and she, you know, like that poor guy.
Jack last year. Oh my God, the worst. So you never know. But that's yes, true. I feel good. I feel good about these people, but I don't know. I just love the circle. I love that it's fast paced. I love that it's quick. I don't love when they bring in too many people at the end, but they're always going to do it too. And those people will leave, so it doesn't matter. But
yeah, so from when I first met them though to the end of this episode, I'm like, I'm into everybody. Okay, cool. Okay, we're in. Good. Yeah. I'm always worried that I'm not going to like a cast, and then it never fails. I always end up liking them. So yeah, I hope the K can do well, but I'm just not sure. I'm not confident.
Yeah.
And Calvin, I like him, but I'm not confident that he'll do well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is that everybody? Did we miss anybody? Michelle.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about it.
Oh, Roxana.
Calvin, Roxana. Yeah, like Roxana, I think is okay. I don't feel like she's giving off a ton where people are like, "That's my girl." She is with Kay, and because Kay is so popular, I think she'll be protected and be fine.
But her reads are off as well. So like, I'm curious to whether I can see her going all in on someone being a catfish and them not being a catfish and retaliating, and her kind of, falling to the bottom of the rankings because like she pushed so hard and get voted out. So I'm interested in her journey, but I'm not sure if I think her reads versus how this game is actually played, if it's going to match up in her favor.
Yeah, I'm actually interested to see how Calvin does because he's, I don't know if opinionated is the right word, but like he'll say stuff. And is that going to win people over? Or is that going to rub people the wrong way? People who speak up, you just never know, right? Mm-hmm. And they will eventually be like, I love you, or I'm not vibing with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Which could be the same thing with Nick. Like,
we don't really know, and that's kind of why I wish that we didn't have this twist so soon. Like, I just want to get to know them a little bit instead of having them be sleuthing out between Blue and Orange Michelle. Like, I want them to sleuth out the catfishes, of course, but I wish that all the focuses wasn't on these two deciphering who is real and who is not real. I want to get to know these people a little bit more. So,
yeah. Agreed.
Next week, we'll be able to tell a little bit more about who's going to do well.
But yes, and next week I will have some astrology with Chantele and I. We will connect this week, and we will find out signs, and that will help us a lot. And I will be back on Monday with Josh for episodes 3 and 4. Chantele will be back with me next Thursday. And honestly, right now, I got to go get ready for a double eviction. How about you?
Oh my God, my stomach just dropped thinking about that.
I know we distracted ourselves nicely, but now this is gonna be
win this head of household. Hannah, just do it. Hannah, do it. If you win this head of household, Hannah, I believe that you and Tiffany will be in the final 2, and you both will have a shot at winning this bunny. Just Hannah, do not let Alyssa ruin your game.
I'm so scared.
And Tiffany, no matter what, win the veto.
Win the veto! For the rest of the game, honestly, Tiffany has to win all the vetoes. Oh my God. This is like, honestly, these next two HOHs make the end game. It is so vital that it goes one way.
Jessica. I'm putting it out
goes
there.
The other way.
I'm just worried because it's always like whatever I want to happen, it doesn't happen. But I'm hoping that with what happened with Claire, right? That's like the lowest of lows for Tiffany. That's the worst position she's ever been in this game so far. And I just can't see the universe just beating her down after what she's really done in this game. She actually created the cookout. She actually is the one that has really been forcing this group to work together to the end. This can't be the end of her story. We can't have Alyssa take out the founder of the cookout. It just can't happen. It just doesn't work for me. Especially with the fact that she had to take out Claire. No.
If the universe is working, then everything you said, yes.
No.
But so many times I have said, we can't have nice things.
We can't have nice things. No, we can. Because we just had a very unnice thing with that Claire Tiffany moment. That was not supposed to happen. She was not. Alyssa win the veto, against 5 other people. It just really wasn't a thing. One thing, I know we're talking about the circle here, but since I got you here,
we're here.
I need to ask you though. I was very shocked, and I thought it was a big mistake that Tiffany didn't choose Claire to play in the veto, and asked Claire to win it for her, because I was shocked. I thought it was just a random draw, but when I saw that she actually asked Hannah to play, I thought that was the one time that was a very outward blunder on Tiffany's part, because I think that not that Claire could necessarily have won, but the fact that the alternative is if Alyssa wins, you're putting Claire on the block. Don't you want to know that your best friend in the game at least had a shot to win? So,
yeah. No, I get when she had Hauska's choice, and I was like, I gasped that she did not choose Claire. The alternate universe that we could have been in, where she chose Claire and at least gave Claire a fighting chance. But I feel like I understand why.
You thought that Hannah was a better competitor, of course.
Well, no, I think that she had to stop.
And not look like, she was protecting Claire and giving her an opportunity when Claire had to go.
She was luckily aware that she had made some people mad, and I think she was wisely doing a little bit of damage control of I am not going against the cookout. I am not. I'm just saving my girl.
I guess since they're just being so unappreciative of everything that Tiffany does, I'm just kind of Tiffany, you should have just if you're going to be putting her up anyways, they're already mad at you. They're never going to stop being mad at you. Apparently a week later, they still have harsh feelings towards you about this whole thing, and you didn't even get your way. So I wish that she just had given Claire the opportunity. But I see your point very well. I couldn't believe it though. I really thought that it was just a random pick.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, oh, luck of the draw. Claire didn't get it, And then I was like, what? She got it. But it was a luck comp. That's not a comp that Claire had a leg up on.
No.
Or Alyssa had a leg up on. It's
maybe Alyssa, because she's so tiny that she's not going to be as awkward in that space. So I do think she has a little bit of an advantage of being able to maneuver those things a little bit better, because Claire probably would have had, maybe she would have been good. Who knows? She figured out a strategy to be good at it, but she has longer arms and she's taller, so it would have been a lot more awkward for her. But
yeah,
I wish she got to play.
Something's going to happen, you guys, tonight.
I'm sick to my stomach.
Is going to happen. We are all going to be a ball of nerves. I am going live after the double eviction with Jessica Milagros. Chantele, what are you doing tonight after the recap?
I'm going live a little bit later. So Jojo, you guys have met, a few times over here. Hangs out with me on my channel. He's in a show tonight, and so his show ends. And he's like, I really still want to do it with you, so I just want to go home really quickly, and I'm going to watch the episode, and then we'll come on. So probably around 9:45 Eastern, we'll go live. So it will be about half an
Perfect.
hour later than we'd be going live. But you're going live right at 9:15?
Yes.
So it'll be an
So
overlap. So maybe we'll go live at like
hit
10. So like
Nerdtainment first, and then
pop
jump
over after.
over to Reality Realness, and
I'll be
you'll
watching yours and be
covered.
like,
To either be like crying or like screaming. Yes.
I mean, I don't know. It can go either way. Like I can see myself being so excited, and then I can also see myself being devastated. Like I can see her easily following Claire, and I can also see her winning the veto, and Claire and Hannah winning the head of household. So I really don't know what's happening. This is the most amped up I've been about like a competition this whole season, and for a long time, at least.
Yeah.
Since like Janelle was playing and like winning and stuff. So
yeah. And just those of you guys who know me and know Chantele and know that I have a heart of stone and Chantele has actual feelings, I was telling Chantele that I actually got teary, you guys. I had emotions. I had feelings. I got choked up when the feeds went down, and I knew it was my last time with Claire on the feeds. I got teary. I can't believe it. Who knew?
Is she on your draft
Big Brother
too?
super fans. They
she was
bring
on my
it
draft.
out of me. Oh yeah, she's on mine. Yeah, no, she was my number one pick.
Left. One draft, she was my number one pick, but I still have Kylan and Alyssa on one, and then the other one, I still have Tiffany and Kylan. So,
yeah, Claire was my number one pick this season. I'm left with Kylan. BB Canada, we came up with. I was left with Beth this last season, and that became a shtick that I said. So now I'm left with Kylan.
Left with Kylan. Okay, I still have a couple left in both of mine, but
maybe
left with Kai.
Left with Kai.
Stays with Kai. No, well, I'll think of something. Hopefully,
yeah. Okay.
Catchy.
Anyway, it's not important. Everyone in the chat, thank you for joining us. Way to get on those first 2 episodes quickly, and then come back on Monday for the next 2, and then come back next Thursday, and you get the drill. You got all of that. And then also join Chantele and I on Saturday for Survivor South Africa. Just 2 more episodes.
Ooh, second to last. Second to last.
Get in it. That's right.
I don't know what's going to happen, but I hope it goes the way I want it to.
Oh, yeah. You have definite ways that you want it to go.
I mean, I think I will be decently. No. I want it to go only one way. One or two ways, actually.
Okay. 1 or 2 ways.
I don't mind if Tyson wins. He does deserve to win. So basically, Tyson or Chappies for me at this point.
I mean, honestly, at this point, those are our only choices. Really, honestly. All right. Have a wonderful night, you guys, with a double, and we'll see you next time. Bye.